systems are a go.
Confirming all systems are a go. Launching the podcast.
3, 2, 1.
This is Hello from Mars.
Welcome to an all-new episode of Hello from Mars. I am Marissa. This is my podcast, but you guys probably already knew that. Anyway, so I do have a guest coming up here in just a few minutes. Gigi Cutie got her own podcast, and it's all pop culture related. She is just always engulfed in pop culture. So am I. So I was like, we need to chat. So we're going to in just a few minutes. But Mike, always following the podcast, listening at the gym all the time. Thank you so much for that. But he did not want me to slack on the Kim Kardashian, Kanye West divorce. He feels like there are probably tons of jokes, and he's right. But I feel like this requires like almost, comedy club status here, right? So I don't have a microphone with me. I'm just kind of using my MacBook right now while my other laptop's getting fixed. So I've got this hairbrush that I'm realizing now is full of a lot more hair than I actually thought. So if you're watching on YouTube, please don't judge me. Oh, look at that. And there's even lint in here. Anyway, so we're just going to test this out, and we're going to see how great of a comedian I really can be. And maybe after the pandemic, I start doing stand-up. I don't know. Who knows what's next? Nobody. Anyway, so, all right. So you guys heard that Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye West about a week and a half ago, right? Yeah. So Kim Kardashian's filing for divorce. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians is in the final season. I mean, we need like one more celebrity death in here, right? Because they always come in threes, right? Right? Am I right? Okay. How about this? Okay. So Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye West. It's almost as if she didn't see this relationship going south. Okay. No, I got more. Okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? Divorce attorney. Whoa, hold up. I just want to say that Robert Kardashian was the greatest attorney of all time. Are these the jokes you were looking for? Wait, I think I got like one more. On last Friday, Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye West. Moments later, Southwest Airlines asked her to be their spokeswoman. Okay, I'm going to stop now, and we're going to put this brush away because I'm realizing how much my hair must fall out. This is ridiculous. Let's get the tops in pop this week.
Tops in pop.
I don't know if the whole comedian thing is a thing for me. I don't think that I should use those jokes, though. I'm just throwing it out there. This week was big because Lady Gaga seemed to be targeted with like this whole like abduction situation. So I don't know if you heard about this, but two of her French bulldogs were kidnapped. Her dog walker, whose name is Ryan Fisher, he was shot. He's okay. But yeah, I mean, super random, like Hollywood, clearly a Hollywood story. We're going to get a Lifetime movie out of this. I just have a feeling. But basically, now after doing like a few days of like research and stuff, because the dogs have been found. They were tied to a pole. Some woman found them, and they are back to Gaga. But police are thinking that she wasn't actually even targeted, that apparently what it is like there's a good market for French bulldogs, I guess. Who knew? I didn't know. But basically, they're thinking that her dog walker was in a well-lit area at one point when he was walking the dogs, and he was spotted and he was targeted in that way because they saw what, these people saw what types of dogs they were, followed him to a dark residential street, and then attacked him, and then took 2 out of the 3. Lady Gaga did say like she offered $500,000 reward, but I don't even know if that was cashed in even from the woman who found them. But they are safe, and the investigation is still happening. And like I said, her dog walker is going to fully recover. I'm sure he is like never going to want to walk dogs ever again, but that is just a very scary situation. So on top of that, another scary situation that happened this week, it was with Tiger Woods. He was in another horrible car accident, totaled his SUV. I believe it was an SUV. It was so smashed, it's like hard to know, but he is in recovery now. There are rumors that he may never play golf again. It was really bad damage to his legs. He has had surgery. He says that he is in good spirits. So just wishing him well. What was the cause of the accident? Still trying to figure that out. People said that where the last time he was seen, he was very angry, or at least seemed like he was. So maybe that is playing into it. There's like a rumor that he may have fallen asleep at the wheel. So, we'll kind of wait and see. But I mean, I don't know if we'll ever really know the answer to that unless he just kind of fesses up to whatever. Other than that, we've got new music coming from both Nick Jonas, who was the musical guest and the host of SNL this past weekend, did an awesome job, and Justin Bieber. We knew that was coming because he's been releasing song after song after song with no album in sight. So we knew that had to be coming. We've already heard probably like 6 songs that are going to be on it. So that'll be coming out. I believe you can pre-order it for March something. So just know that's coming. But guys, let's get to some more pop culture stuff. Gigi, she's got her own podcast. I'll let her explain where you can find that. But welcome, Gigi Cutie. Well, Gigi, I want to welcome you to the Hello from Mars podcast. This has been something I've been working very hard on, and I know you have been somebody that has been kind of following me for a very long time. We were just talking about this. I thought it was like long before, and you're saying what, 2015, 2016?
No, actually, it's when you were like on Flying 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
You're in the
Yeah. I was doing afternoons.
So like it was from way before then. I finally got the chance to finally meet you at Hudson Valley.
Okay. And you know what? I'm realizing it couldn't have been 2016 because that was when everything went south. But so it had to have been before then. But now I know where to look on my hard drive to try to find that picture. And I swear, I keep everything. So if it's not on there, like it's going to be because it was on that work computer and I just didn't have the chance. Stupid budget cuts. But that being said, since then, since your time in college, all these few years later, we won't say all these years later because you're just a youngin', but you've started your own podcast. Look at you over there. You got your own microphone. You're doing your thing. Where can people find this podcast? What is it called? What's it about? Like, give me the rundown real quick.
Okay, so my podcast is called Wait What with Gigi Cutie, because I say wait what all the time, and my nickname and my Instagram is Gigi Cutie 13, so I just did Gigi Cutie. So you can find the podcast on Anchor and on Spotify.
Okay, yeah, because I know Anchor just kind of distributes it. Because I've been using that as well. And I know that I am on stuff that I didn't even know existed until now. So that's pretty cool. But and you focus on kind of pop culture stuff and everything like that too, right? Yeah.
Like pop culture, like movies, like TV show with a lot of binge watching, because everyone binge watches like
everybody. Yeah. I mean, that's the new thing. I mean, because we can't really do a whole lot else. So we might as well, right? Right. So knowing that you are a person that is just engulfed with pop culture, just like I am, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some stuff because I know what I've been doing, and like we just mentioned binge watching and just like how we've been trying to get through the pandemic. Is there something that you found that really helped you in the pop world, whether it was a certain musician or a certain TV show or a movie that you kept going back to?
So you would understand this too, since HBO Max just got Friends back.
Yes, yep.
I've been obviously watching that like at night just to go to sleep with, because I know if I wake up to Friends, I know what's going on. So I have been also like finding really awesome shows on Netflix, like Bridgerton is absolutely incredible. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. I know people have talked about it, and I don't know, like I have a hard time sometimes breaking my norm.
Yeah.
So it's just me.
I've been like rewatching Gossip Girl, which is a good classic.
Oh yeah, I binged that not long ago, like pre-pandemic. Like that was my pre-pandemic thing, and I'm glad that I did, because I never got into, like, I watched a few episodes when it was originally on. And then I don't know, I just never really stuck with it. And I love Penn Badgley. So, when you came out, it was like, all right, got to go back and watch everything he's ever done. I just got to do it. So, so here we are. So like in this moment, what do you find that you are kind of obsessing over when it comes to pop stuff?
with this whole Free Britney movement
Ah,
is absolutely insane. And like in watching the documentary, like because I've always been a Britney Spears fan,
same.
like
Yeah.
ever since I was younger. So like it broke my heart watching that documentary. Like don't get me wrong, I do like Justin Timberlake, but after that, like I still love his music, but he really like did her wrong with that whole interview and with like Janet Jackson and everything and that and like the statement he posted, he did it through a notes app.
I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you look at the ages, you look at the maturity levels, you look at the fact that he was kind of like thrown into a boys club, and then he's just kind of going with the flow. And I get it to a pretty big extent. And then the media goes and spins however they want to spin it, which we all see how that went, and that was not good. I've said this before on the pod. I kind of think that there was probably an apology that happened a long time ago with him and Brittany in the private life. And then, it comes out now the way it did because it kind of had to publicly at this point. If he didn't say anything, what would you think then? That you're going to think he's a giant a-hole. But it is what it is. But I've been going back and watching a lot of Britney stuff too. I didn't even realize that I still had 2 of her DVDs from way back when. Definitely have to go back and rewatch them.
I recently just watched Crossroads.
Yes. That is an underrated movie. That is not like Mariah Carey Glitter. This one is Les Magnifique. If you're enjoying like doing that kind of stuff, there's a couple different Britney fan accounts that share like old performances and stuff. I started following some of those, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember like watching this on TV, and like it just like everything that we fell in love with when it came to Britney initially. And it's just kind of it makes you sad just knowing how everything went. And I'm just kind of hoping that things can get in a better direction for her.
Were you working at Fly when she came to Albany?
No, that was I was still in high school then. But what's funny? Do I have it over here? No, because this is radio career stuff. So that wouldn't be up there. But probably in the basement, I have a button from that concert, and it's from the radio station because I must have stopped by the table, and it's got like Britney Oops I Did It Again tour on it or whatever. But that was like that may have been my first time getting to see her live.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a good time. So I know that you've had the opportunity to meet some of your faves. I've seen pictures with like the Jonas Brothers. I think one of the summer jams you got to was it BTR?
Yeah.
Okay. You're still like, but I know like you're the ultimate fangirl. I get it. I completely get it. So I know we're in this like weird period where there's no concerts really that you can go to. You can't go and you can't meet people necessarily, but when we can, who haven't you got to meet that would just be like your ultimate?
I would absolutely die if I met Miley Cyrus. Absolutely die.
What do you think it is about Miley?
So, like, I've been following Miley's career since she was in Hannah Montana.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I have like even like when I was in middle school, like I know like Hannah Montana came out when I was in like 5th grade, but since middle school, like I made an account on Twitter, Miss Cyrus 101. I still have that account, and just like everything she does, like I know like there was like crazy times, but like if you think about it, she has like the same. She has done like certain things like Britney Spears has done. Yeah. She did like she was the girl that everyone wanted to look up to, but she also wanted to branch out and saying like basically no one can tell me what to do. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to dress the way I want. I'm going to act the way I want, which I love. And like she's and she wants people to talk about things. She doesn't care what they say about her. She just wants people to talk,
Yeah.
which is like that big thing that happened at the VMAs, and just that was like a talking point. Like she knew what the outcome was going to be, and she didn't care, which I just love that whole mindset that she doesn't care what people think.
She's just like out to, in a lot of ways, it's like she's just out there to get ready to shock people a little bit, depending on what phase she's in. And I think she's somebody that constantly is reinventing herself. But it's funny that you mentioned the screen name situation, because this is, so she's your Britney to me. Like, so when it comes generationally, so your screen name was Miley related. Mine was Britney related when I was in high school, because Britney in the I Did It Again song, it's dreaming away, wishing that heroes they truly exist, or something like that. So my screen name was Dreaming Away. And like 83 or something for my birth year. But so I know, I see fangirl, like we're the same.
Yes. When I was younger, I looked up to Britney. Then Hannah Montana came around, and then I looked up to Miley, and I still look up to both of them. Then I look up to like Demi, Selena, Taylor.
Yeah, which is what I want to get to next too, because coming up by the end of March, there is a documentary that is going to be coming out on YouTube with Demi. And this is something that they were already filming while she was on her last tour, and then while she was spiraling out of control that nobody really knew. And then you've got the overdose. And then you've got a lot of like really honest moments that are about to come out. What do you think about this upcoming documentary? I'm sure you've seen the previews for it.
Oh, yeah. I actually saw her when she was celebrating her sobriety. I went to that concert when she was celebrating at the Barclays Center. Yep. And then I believe it was like a month or so later, the news struck out that she spiraled. And like, I was like freaking out, because the last time I saw her, she was celebrating like being sober and everything. And it was such a big tour because she had DJ Khaled, she had Kalani. And just looking at that trailer, because you can tell it was in parts, because she was like, oh, I'm engaged. Then she went like this to her hand that she wasn't.
No longer engaged.
And by the way, I'm happy she's not anymore, because I did not like Max at all, because he ended up being, he's just like a clout chaser in other words, because he was like posting pictures, like crying and just wanting attention because of this whole Demi thing. So in that trailer, like you can tell there is no holding back with anything. Even her friends were like, oh, we're actually going to talk about heroin. We're actually going to talk about this. We're going to actually talk about that. And they're not holding back this time.
Yeah. And you know what, though? I don't think she's ever been somebody to really hold back. She's always been a very honest, open person. It's just this entire time, I don't, when somebody struggles with something like addiction, I guess they know they're struggling. They know, but it's kind of also like a hard back and forth of like, no, I got this. I can handle this. I can do this. And then all of a sudden they can't handle it. So she's been very honest about the demons that she's faced, and bipolar and everything else that she eating disorders and just depression and anything that goes along with it. So I know I'm very, very interested to see what's involved in this documentary, and that I hope that she's getting the help that she needs right now, because I know pop stars reinvent themselves all the time, but she just doesn't seem like herself at all right now. So I don't know. That's just me. And she is, when I found out about the overdose, because I had only seen her, I think in March that year, she was at the TD Garden in Boston. And I freaking love her. She is like my ultimate. But when I found out, like, even when I told my mom started crying. There's something about her that I think her openness and her willingness to just let everybody in makes it so you almost feel like you are losing somebody that, like, you know, your friend. So yeah, just a very like intimate situation, you know, and I think that this documentary is just going to make it even more intimate for people.
Like going back to the whole Britney thing, like no one thought, oh, she probably has like she's going through mental health issues. Like with seeing like Demi Lovato now, like when with all of her, like Demi Lovato has been through a lot. Like she's been through a lot, and no one realized that like when she was in Disney either, because I remember this, and I know she might have said this in her last documentary. One of the background dancers, Danny Vitale, who was on tour with her and the Jonas Brothers, something happened and Demi like punched her because she was like under the influence. And now I know everything's good with them now because she was on tour with her and everything, but that was another spiral that happened like years and years ago.
Yeah, that was one of the first instances of rehab for her. Because I think that was cocaine, and like, I mean, she like smuggled it on a plane. Like, yeah, she talked all about that in the last documentary. That's what I mean. She's so open. We know like everything. And that's, I think, the difference between her and Britney is like, we know what's been trickled out into the media, but at the same time with that, like what's real and what's not. You know, Demi, I think, is trying to avoid that problem of what's real and what's not, and just going, here's what's real. So, you know, and I guess maybe that's the difference of when Britney kind of shot to stardom and when Demi did, because like she was already at 14, 15 dealing with the same kind of paparazzi that Britney had been. So I don't know, these pop stars, girl, it's so crazy. So say when it comes to new music, who are you most excited to get a new album from?
Well, I just heard, because going back to the obsession with me and the Jonas Brothers. So Nick Jonas is releasing a song very, very soon called Spaceman. He's also going to be on SNL being the host and the performer.
Oh, that means an album's coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at, I see that's a giddy, that you're being giddy right now. You like revert right back to like 14-year-old Gigi, I think.
I met them when they first came here, when Demi was opening up, and then I met Nick Jonas when he was on Broadway, because I sat next to someone whose dancer was in the show. She liked how energetic I was. She brought me backstage to meet him. Then I met them at the Times Union Center for the Happiness Begins tour.
Yeah, they're gonna call you a stalker soon. You know that.
Right.
So before we end this right now, because you are the ultimate fangirl, the pop princess over here, I'm gonna introduce a brand new segment for Hello from Mars, and we're gonna call that I don't know, pick one. All right, so here we go. You gotta pick one. 1D or BTR?
BTR.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming at all. Wow. Oh my God, you just blew my mind. Okay. All right. Whew. Well, this is going to make this next question awkward, but for One Direction, who has the best solo career?
Harry.
Harry. Okay. I'm a Niall fan. I always have been. Okay. Glee or High School Musical? I know. Oh, let me throw one more in there. Glee, High School Musical, or Camp Rock?
Okay, now you're just killing me here.
Put them in some sort of order.
Okay, so oh God, I love Glee, but I have to put it last. So I have to say Camp Rock, High School Musical, and Glee.
Wow, I felt like that was so painful for you. This one's going to be, I'm sorry, but this is going to be even more painful. Demi versus Miley versus Selena. Put those three in order.
Miley, Demi, Selena.
Wow, that was not hard at all. Okay. This one's probably not going to be all that difficult either, just because you have not mentioned the other show to me at all. But Friends or Schitt's Creek?
Friends.
Okay. I mean, they're kind of up to par with me right
Okay.
now. Like I'm somebody, I have not liked a sitcom since Friends.
Oh, good.
And then Schitt's Creek came along and I didn't even like it at first. And then I kept going and then I'm like, oh my God, I freaking love it. So, and I can watch it over and over again now, just like I watch Friends. Okay. It's going to be, we're going to have a YouTube off here. Ready? Bieber or Shawn Mendes?
Bieber.
Wow. I got a Shawn Mendes tattoo. And this one's going to really kill you. But the Jonas Brothers or Nick Jonas solo?
God. Oh my God.
This is my favorite thing that I've ever done on the podcast, I think, so far, because of the amount of pain you are going through right now. And because it's not real pain, but because it's just like, you don't want to choose at all, but I'm going to make you anyway.
You need to save this footage and post this part. Oh God. I have to see the Jonas Brothers.
I mean, Nick's a part of it, so it's like the best of both worlds. But don't worry, that's the last one. I won't put you through any more torture.
Oh God, that was hard.
Gigi, tell everybody one more time what your podcast is called and where they can find it.
My podcast is Wait What with Gigi Cutie, and you can find it on Anchor and Spotify.
So like we were talking about just at the end there, clearly Gigi loves the Jonas Brothers. She loves her some Nick Jonas. He was the host and musical guest on SNL this past weekend. So I had her do a reaction video to his time on the show. So that is your bonus this week. You can find that now on the Hello from Mars podcast, Instagram, and Facebook. So go ahead and check that out. I made a post on Facebook at some point during the week because I saw this article of celebrity bad first dates. And I'm like, you know what? We've all had a bad first date. We've all had bad dates. We've all had bad relationships. I got to hear some of yours. So here's the thing. Some of these celebrity dates are awful, but your dates have been like so much worse. So a couple of the celebrity ones like Jenna Bush, her bad first date involved the Secret Service. Obviously, she was a president's daughter. Selena Gomez and Nick Jonas, they did go on a date. They tried to make it not known that they were going on a date. So Nick was like, we got to walk 25 feet apart, as if nobody knew they were together in Central Park. Okay, clearly that didn't work out. And then Tiffany Haddish apparently went on this first date with a guy who took her to a nice restaurant, but then what did they do after? They went to the laundry house and they did his laundry. And she's like, I'm not your maid. What are you talking about? So yeah, but let's get to some of yours because these, oh my God, I feel so bad for you guys. But I also feel like, oh my God, this is making my day. But Courtney went on a first date to Mangiano's in downtown Boston, was going great. He walked her to her car. They were holding hands, seemed like a love connection. Then he saw her SUV and he immediately let go of her hand and then proceeded to give her a 10-minute lecture about how bad they are for the environment. Safe to say there wasn't a second date there. Holly says she went on a date with this guy who told her when the check came that he couldn't pay for the date because if his credit card was swiped, his wife would check it, the statements, and find out. She's like, bye. Awful. Alyssa says, when I was seeing this guy for a couple weeks, nothing serious, he insisted that I go get 50-cent wings with him. He told me a bunch of his buddies were going to be there. So I invited my girlfriend. We showed up. His entire family was there, like both divorced parents, nephews, the whole nine. To top it off, he made me pay for my own dinner and he paid for his cousins and himself instead. Awesome. And then Robin is saying, I was asked out on a date. He took me to an expensive restaurant, told me order whatever I like. We had seafood, we had steak, we had wine. The bill came, he handed it to me and told me I had to buy because he didn't have a job. It's awful. That sounds like a pandemic date, but this was clearly before the pandemic. And then Tanya says, I went on a date with a guy I'd been chatting with for a while. He was running late, so I ended up buying the tickets for the movie. He fell asleep and snored through 3/4 of said movie, then got upset after it when I wouldn't go check into a hotel with him. Oh, guys, you're kind of dumb sometimes. I'm just throwing it out there. But thanks for the laughs. I enjoyed that this past week. And if you guys ever want to participate in the podcast, I am looking for how you've been handling yourself through the pandemic. I know a lot of us, myself included, have had a very rough year. So we are coming up on that 1-year anniversary. If you've got a story that you want to share with me, if you'd like to be on Zoom for the podcast, if you want to just kind of call on in, whatever the case might be, let's chat. I'm all up for it. So hit me up on the socials again on Instagram or Facebook. Just search Hello from Mars Podcast. A brand new episode is coming next week, guys. Until then, stay safe and be good to each other.
Oh, hey.